It doesn't refer to your toothbrush or television, which are personal property, but rather productive assets like machinery and tools, or land from which rent can be extracted. Essentially, it refers to the private ownership of capital and land, something which communists want to abolish in favor of public ownership. Ha says that MAGA communists want to...
I'm just curious, because I've read the Communist Manifesto, and none of the 10 planks of the Communist Manifesto directly say we're just going to abolish private property right away. Because the idea of the dissolution of private property as an institution is regarded as a long-term consequence of the proletarian dictatorship.
abolish private property, but his definition of private property is a little different, as he says.
Why is it different? Let's see, why is it different? Because I actually give a definition that gets to the core essence of what private property is. The essence of private property. An essence which reaches its fullest culmination and development if we are living in late capitalism, which is on the cusp of the dissolution of that mode of production.
Everyone dreams of getting rich, but it is because you want to use that wealth for a specific reason.
Yeah, I'm speaking in relatable language here, by the way, which is very effective and which is very useful. It does a lot to actually dispel the fears and the fear-mongering surrounding what communists mean by abolishing private property. Because as you can recall, if you're actually familiar with Marx's works, Marx talks about this in Private Property and Communism in 1844, where he's dissuading this idea that communism is just aggregating everything into one thing owned by everyone. And he's saying, no, this is missing the point. So the relationship between personal ownership and personal dreams even that have any kind of human significance at all, really, have to be carefully distinguished from the essence of what private property is as an institution. Because for Marx, private property is a fundamentally antisocial, anti-human institution of alienation. No science, self-renunciation, the renunciation of life, all human needs. The less you eat, the less you go to theater, the less you drink, the more you save, the greater becomes your treasure, which neither moths nor rust will devour, your capital. The less you are, the less you express your life, the more you have, the greater is your alienated life. Isn't it intelligent how I express this really old, seemingly impenetrable arguments by Marx in ways that are relatable to people in the 21st century, like talking about yachts and cars and about how at least that still has the human quality of your dreams somehow. It's not even an endorsement of yachts. It's at least that is something still. But capital and private property at its essence is not what it is at its essence. At its essence, it is usury.